Hi there, and welcome to the Cuddle Comics. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to look at five omnibuses that I think are sleepers that you should pick up, and three that are absolutely must-haves that you need to pick up. So let's dive right into it. All right, and with all that being said, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and do all that jazzy stuff. But let's get right into these books right now because I'm kind of excited, and I don't want this to be too long of a video because YouTube's algorithm moving towards the shorter stuff recently. And then sometimes moving towards the longer stuff. So you got to have like a nice balance. Anyway, first up is a book by a couple creators that actually are pretty well known and pretty well regarded. However, this hasn't been one of the more known or well regarded runs, and that is Jason Aaron's and Chris Bachala's, and I probably pronounced his last name wrong. I do apologize. Doctor Strange. Now, Jason Aaron is one of my favorite authors, and Chris, or B, we're going to call him, is one of my favorite artists. I love his work back in the days of Generation X. That's going back, dating me a few years. But I remember Generation X, all that stuff. But I know that his art took a while to really get me and grab me. But his work on Doctor Strange is utterly incredible. There's some really great stuff in here. Some great artists, some good writers, and primarily Aaron, of course. Gotta love the Aarons, right? It's not a big omnibus, but it's definitely a good read, a good solid read. It won't take you too long to do it. And let me just show you the inside artwork from the with the slip jacket off because it's really that good. This gives you an idea of the type of art that you can expect from this here. And if you're ever a fan of like the Vertigo era of of comics before the whole Black Label thing became a deal, then look right here because this is very much a Vertigo-esque style artwork on this cover. And you get a lot of that fantastic artwork on the inside as well. It's a really great story. It's pretty much contained all within this omnibus right here. The actual contents of the omnibus, I'll tell you in a second right now. As soon as I get the slip back on, because I am so OCD about this stuff. It has Doctor Strange 2015 series 1 to 20, annual number 1, and Doctor Strange Last Days of Magic. A very cool, very underrated run for the character of Strange, and an underrated Jason Aaron run as well. I know we talk a lot about Jason Aaron's Thor and stuff like that, and Jason Aaron's work on Star Wars, which I think was defining for the Star Wars comics. But don't miss out on Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange. It's a really good run. Next up is What If, the original Marvel series, Volume 2. Now, there are 2 volumes out for this 1 and 2 completes the original series. There is another volume coming out for the new 1980s, early 90s series, coming out in around June. I will be in Canada around that time, so is there a chance that I'll probably pick that up if I've got the moolah? More than likely. What If is one of my favorite comics. But Volume 1 was good, but not great. And some people didn't bother to get Volume 2 because they were kind of like mediocre on the first volume. However, Volume 2 is as good as Volume 1 is. Volume 2 is head and shoulders above what Volume 1 was. There's just some really great stories in there. There's some actual bangers, some classics with some incredible artwork, some great writers, just some great stuff. We've got Bill Mantlo working on this, the great Roger Stern, Tom DeFalco, John Byrne, David Michelini, Peter Gillis, Mark Grunwald, Tony Isabel, Ralph Macchio. No, not that one. But a lot of really great work on this one here, including some stories like What If Phoenix Had Not Died? What If Daredevil Became an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I think that's the first Daredevil work by Frank Miller as well, who would go on to define Daredevil. And What If Elektra lived? What If Beast and the Thing continued to mutate? That's actually a really good one. And a ton of other really great stuff. It finishes off with a really solid run and a strong ending to a series that just kept getting better as it went along. It was easy to see why they would go ahead and do a second series of What If just a few years down the road. Next up is a cool Ghost Rider. There's only been two Ghost Rider omnibus ever. One is the Jason Aaron one, which is out of print. Please vote for that in the reprint omnibus poll. I would really love that have that run of Ghost Rider. That would continue my Ghost Rider collection and my Jason Aaron collection as well. But this is a really cool Cosmic Ghost Rider series. That is a lot of fun. This is one that I think my better half will like because it's been done by Donny Cates. It's much more of a galaxy spanning one. It's kind of funny in a way. It's got this unique type of weird humor to it. There's the alternate, like the put in a better. This is the standard edition cover. The alternate edition cover has Cosmic Ghost Rider with baby Thanos, because there's a storyline where he goes back in time and he's going to kill Thanos, but he ends up like having to protect baby Thanos and becomes like kind of a lone wolf and cub type of thing. What this one here includes Thanos 13 to 18, which is an introduction of Cosmic Ghost Rider, Thanos Annual Number 1, Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 to 5, the original miniseries, Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History 1 to 6, that's hilarious. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 to 6, the first 6 issues of the 2019 Guardians of the Galaxy series, Avengers, the 2018 series 22 to 25, Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Riders 1 to 5, material from Thanos Legacy and Wolverine Black, White, and Blood issue number 3. Again, it is a great run. It's got some kind of really neat eclectic art on here. Donny Cates does some really, really good stuff. And here's just one of the many really kind of cool panels from Cosmic Ghost Rider. A lot of people have missed out or just haven't bothered to look into this one. It kind of slipped under the radar, and I really don't think that it should have. Next up is one where I'm really hoping that we get enough votes for a volume 2 because I so want volume 2 so bad. This is not one of the most lauded runs on this character, but it's one of my favorite runs on this character because one, it has Dan Jurgens writing. I'm a huge Dan Jurgens fan. And two, it was a really cool run after what happened before. So to preface it, Onslaught happened, and after Onslaught, basically the whole idea was that a bunch of Marvel superheroes, some of the main core characters like the Fantastic Four, Captain America, Thor, the Avengers, all of them disappeared. They were no longer in the main Marvel universe. They were actually given to image creators who would go on to do them for a year. And thankfully, after that year was over and that experiment was done, we got them back. And one of the best returns we got back, because his comic was doing pretty good before it and actually had to get canceled, was Dan Jurgens' work on Thor. So this is The Mighty Thor Heroes Return, Volume 1. I really want Volume 2. Eric Masterson and Thunderstrike is in Volume 2. I was a huge Thunderstrike fan, and I'm very excited to actually see that come out again. There's some great stuff in this. We got Thor issues 1 to 35. This is a beast of a book. Rough Cut Silver Surfer, Thor Annual 1998, Thor Annual 1999, 2000. When they stopped like numbering the annuals, they actually just put the year there. Peter Parker, Spider-Man 1999 series, issue number 2 and 11. Iron Man, issue number 22 from the 1998 series. Juggernaut, the Eighth Day, material from Iron Man 21 by Dan Jurgens and John Romita, with some great workers on here like John Buscemi. We got Eric Larson working on this, Andy Kubert, Stuart Emanon, Tom DeFalco, J.M. DeMatteis, Howard Mackey, Kurt Busiek, Roger Stern, Joe Casey. This is like an incredible amount of fantastic comic book talent in this book here. And I know it is kind of a 90s run. Some people go away because that's sort of the 90s style artwork. But I'm a really big John Romita Jr. fan, and I do think that there's some really great work in this book. And if you're not, then there's all those other names that I just mentioned. And the fifth and final ones I think people are missing out on that they should grab while they can, and especially this one right here, because I think this one is one that is going to be completely out of print in the next little while, because basically I don't know if they have the rights to this character. I know they lost the rights to Conan. Did that mean they lost the rights to all the Robert E. Howard characters? Because if they did, there are 3 Call omnibuses to pick up. Call the Conqueror is by far the best out of the 3. I have 2 of them. I Call the Destroyer, which is a really great omnibus with the kind of the genesis of Call. There was a Call the Savage, which does a lot of the black and white stuff that wasn't collected in the Savage or Conan omnibuses. And we have the Call the Conqueror here, which if you can only get one, get this one. Because it's like kind of the reintroduction Call in comics with like a larger scale, like bigger epic comics. Like I think the original ones were like 22 pages, but this Call of the Conqueror ran like around 40 pages long. It was a bigger comic books, the thicker comic. So it has Call of the Conqueror 1982, 1 and 2. Then it goes to Call of the Conqueror, the series from 1983, 1 and 10, called The Veil of Shadow graphic novel, and it has a Marvel team up 111 and 112. It starts off the Marvel team up 111 and 112, which is decent. I mean, it's the weakest part of this entire omnibus, but everything after that with the Call of the Conqueror stuff is really, really good. And Call of the Veil of Shadows is also pretty amazing as well. And I'm going to take a drink before I go any further, because what we got to do next is show the three um, big books that I think you should pick up very soon, because you may not be able to pick them afterwards. All right. Also gave me like a very sneaky way to pop in my donation super chat link if you so want to use it. If you don't, I'm just really glad you're here watching these videos, because that hitting the like button, commenting down below, that's the major thing that you can do. And I want to thank my patrons for their support and the amazing stuff that they do. See your name come up at the end of this video, because it will. First off is a one that I'm not sure they will be able to reprint, because I'd have to look and see if the character is in here that they can't use, and that is Deadly Hands of Kung Fu Volume 2. I don't see this one coming back again for a couple reasons. One, there is a possibility that Fu Manchu might be in here, and people get confused about the Fu Manchu the character. They think that it was taken out because of like identity or politics. It wasn't actually Sax Romero's. They lost the rights to Fu Manchu, so they couldn't use them again. That's why when they did Shang-Chi later on, they kind of changed his origin a bit. Also, Daily Hands of Kung Fu was not a regular comic book. It was a magazine series, so it would have like black and white comics and magazine articles. This collects everything in here. So there's articles on Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, as well as some really cool, like fantastic artwork and great stories here as well. This book here collects from 19 to 33, the last issues of Daily Hands of Kung Fu. Now they were doing like the Daughters of the Dragon series right at the end of it, so it didn't get finished. So it also collects Bizarre Adventures 25 to finish off that Daughters of the Dragon series. That because you don't want to have a series and kind of have like it ends. You know the way TV shows go. And see, look, we got like an article here on Angela Mao, who is a fantastic like martial artist, and then you get some like incredible artwork and great detailed black and white like this right here. And Deadly Hands Kung Fu, both volumes. I only have volume 2. I don't have volume 1. Are definitely recommended, because I don't think it's something that will ever get a reprint again. I would be very surprised if it did. Next up is, well, we mentioned Robert E. Howard, and I just took down one of the books, but it is Conan the Barbarian. They did a Conan Savage Sword, which was a black and white magazine, more of an adult Conan, more violence, some nudity, stuff like that. But Marvel also did the Conan the Barbarian color series, and the early stuff had Ry Thomas writing for it, and we had like Big John Buscema. Ry Thomas comes back under a different moniker for Volume 10, and the reason I want to mention this right here is one, this kind of ends their Conan the Barbarian saga, because one of the neat things is that although they didn't get to finish the Savage Sword of Conan, if you can find yourself the 10 volumes of Conan the Barbarian, that is a complete series of the the color Conan the Barbarian comics. This one here has the very final issues, which are 241 to 275. Conan the End is the last issue, and material from which of course is a humor magazine that they did at the time. It's got some great artwork here. As you can see, we have a Todd McFarlane cover. Unfortunately, there was no Todd McFarlane on the inside of the book, but no, if you pick up volume 9 of this, you'll get a nice Jim Lee cover. And again, no Jim Lee on the inside, but they had some great artwork on the covers. And I think volume 10 is a return to form, where there had been a bit, like, it was still good, but a bit lacking in some of the latter volumes when some of the other authors came in and there was kind of a revolving door. Last but definitely not least is this one right here. And I mentioned Shang-Chi before. I mentioned the fact that they cannot use Fu Manchu because he no longer had the rights because of Sax Romero, the guy that wrote him back in the day, his estate. and it's pretty pricey, is Master of Kung Fu. We've recently saw the Shang-Chi movie, which I thought was really, really good. I had a lot of fun with that film. And there are 4 volumes of this right here. It is hard to get any volumes of this right now. So if you can luck upon getting any of these, I lucked into this one at a bookstore, an online bookstore, and because most of these are out of print. You got some fantastic people working on these. This one here has Master of Kung Fu 38 to 70 and annual number 1. One of these here, I think it's volume. Which volume is this now? This is volume 2. I think it's volume 3. For some reason, when they did the What If volumes 1 and 2, they left it one issue of What If, and that issue What If is only available in Master of Kung Fu Volume 3. So if you actually want the complete classics series of What If, you got to look for Volume 3 of of Kung Fu, which is kind of insane because you can't buy it anymore. So if you're lucky into any of these, pick them up, ASAP. They're really good stories. The panel work and the layouts that are done where this were incredibly innovative and different and unique within their time, because they were telling stories that had a lot of action and fighting, as opposed to the 4 to 6 panel layout that we saw at in that time period. A lot of the work that we would see here would be 9 panels or sometimes more. It would kind of break up like one art scene within like 4 different panels. It was just a way to keep a high dynamic when it came to the artwork that was being done, and to make it look like an actual adventure kung fu type of film. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me here today in the Call to Comics. Hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know what your favorite omnibuses are in the comment section down below. And let me know if you've picked up or are planning to pick up any of these. And I'd be curious to know what you think are some sleepers that I might have missed out on. Or maybe you want to just put down in there the ones that you think, maybe you don't like Thor so much, or maybe you're kind of wondering why it is that I like the Thor Returns. Feel free to comment down below and let me know. And I will see you soon right here in the Call to Comics. Give a special shout out to my patrons. You guys keep this thing going. You're amazingly awesome. And hope to see you guys there in the next video. I'm back. And why am I back? Because my computer is having some issues.